Hey, good Saturday night, my friends. As always, hope this finds everybody doing good. Uh, for those of us that are hanging around the house and don't have a big Saturday night plan, hope you're having a fine bowl of tobacco of your favorite blend, your favorite pipe. You know, some of us older folks hang around the house on Saturday. We don't have a big weekend planned anymore. Uh, and I've just been a little lazy this evening, and housekeeping. I am smoking some early morning pancakes that was gifted to me by good friend Corey, straight grain, and I'm smoking it in a Savinelli Orient. This pipe came from Old Virginia Pipe Shop. When we went to Baltimore, not this past November, but last. There's several of those locations in the D.C. area, and I think it came from the Virginia location. I think we were in Virginia. You know, you go in and out of Virginia and Maryland. I think we were in Virginia, but I was telling Toy Maker Larry, we were talking about pipes last night, and uh, you know, we both there were very much in agreement with this. We were talking about, I like to stay in the $50 to $80 range. I rarely buy an expensive. I just there's so many, this hobby can get so expensive. Certainly now that I've added cigars into it. If it hadn't been for the fact that I was helped to start a ready-made collection from Corey and Dale and Chris Pipe Happy, it'd be hard to be where I'm at this point. A year down the road minimum if I would have ever got there. But it's so expensive. I've got some pipes that are higher end. Most of them were bought on eBay and whatnot as estate pipes or new stock, unsmoked, or new old stock, and have gotten a deal on them. But this one was all around $90. Now, it was about $15 more than I could have got it online for, and I don't mind paying a brick and mortar a little extra. I just don't, as long as it's not way out of line, because they a lot of times can't buy the volume and get the volume deals, and they have to charge a little more. But you have the use of their facility. They got coffee made, they got a TV, they got this, the ambiance to sit around and chew the fat with other pipers and cigar smokers there, and they're going to help you. They're going to make special orders for you, and they're there when you need them. You can wake up on Saturday morning and say, hey, I need another 10 of MacBaron plum cake, and take on off and go over and get it. You don't have to wait 3 or 4 or 5 days to get it in, and yada yada. So, sometimes it's worth it for a few more dollars, and that's my issue with the support of the brick and mortars. Is I don't have a problem, because I know that a lot of times they're having to pay more than these big bulk dealers, But yeah, this is one that I bought at a brick and mortar, and it's a good one. This little Orient line, there's several that color. I don't know what number shape this is, but it's more like a branding. It's got a little flat bottom. It's this little sitter. This one has toned as you handle it. It was very bright orange when I bought it. It will tone on you. It will change a little bit. Some people like that, some don't. I think it gives each pipe its own unique character. And of course, I love the stem on it. It's got and there are several different shapes in this. I don't know if there's a 320, but I wouldn't be surprised. But I did not make it fishing this morning. Here's the deal. I got up, told my buddy Will I would pick him up at 6:30. And at 6:30, I was still fiddling around with the boat. I still had a little issue. I was ready to go, had it hooked on the truck. But I always like to hit the starter. You don't want to start one out of water, but I'd bump it and be sure that engine was going to turn over, that motor. It's just got a little small 40 horse Mercury on it. It's a 16 foot. It's got the steering wheel, the console and everything else. It's got trolling motor and all that. But it's about like it's a Fisher Marine, which is about like a bass tracker that you find at Bass Pro Shop. Most of those come with 40, 50, or 60 horse motors. This is a 40 horse Mercury. Gets me where I need to go. Now them big 200 horse Mercuries and Evinrudes, they'll come blowing you out of the water. But it's not about speed to me. It's about it's about affordability, and it fits me well. But anyway, I was having some issues with the charge up on it, and I fiddled with it and got it where it would turn over on it. I was ready to go, so I called him. Let him know I was going to be about 10 minutes late. It's going to be about 6:40 picking him up. He said, look, man, I just came out on the porch. He said, I just brought my rod and reels and tackle box on the porch, getting ready for you to come by. And he said, this wind is howling. He said, if you paid any attention to it, and it just clicked on me, and I was listening. Of course, the trees were rustling. It wasn't bad. He said, we're getting these big gusts. He said, the local TV station said there was a lake advisory. Maybe we might ought to rethink this, because it's not fun to get out there. It wasn't. I've been out there in high winds before. In tournaments, I've been where you had to tie off, the back of the boat to a tree and the front of the boat to another one. And I just don't want to do that anymore. So I said, you may be right. So I come in, and sure enough, they were saying there were some 30-mile-an-hour gusts. Well, the thing is, it's dangerous. But even if it's a little bit windy, it's a full-time job. Whoever's on the trolling over on the front of the boat, to keep that thing, you're doing more trolling and trying to navigate than you are fishing. So we didn't go. So, what do they say? March winds bring April showers that bring May flowers. So, dealing with some late March winds here, but I am going to try to get out there maybe Monday, God willing. But I watched Philly Pipe Smoker's video, and he was talking about some blends. He's done really good on keeping to his New Year's resolution. I don't know how you do it, Bill, but he was talking about this Navy. Oh, I was going to say. So I come on back in the house about 6:40. My wife had a pot of coffee made, and I smoked a bowl of HH Old Dog Fire, drank a cup of coffee, and went back to bed. I crashed. I was just been running on about 5 or 6 hours sleep, and I'm ashamed to tell y'all, I didn't get up till 3 o'clock. I just totally crashed out. I guess I needed it, so maybe it was a good thing we didn't get out there. I think I needed the rest more than I needed the fishing, but I am going to go. But like I say, I had that bowl of HH. I love that rich, robust type blend in the morning with my coffee. I don't want something sweet. Love trout stream, but to me, that's not an early morning smoke. Now, the pancake would be. This is not overly sweet, but HH Old Dark Fire fits the bill very well, very nicely in the morning. As a almost ex-cigarette smoker, you want something, you've patterned yourself for something that's strong and robust in the morning with your coffee. But Bill was talking about this Navy flake, and I got to tell y'all, some of y'all that our channels don't overlap and y'all don't see his or whatever, we're not mutually subscribed to. He was talking about this morning, and I was just going to briefly show y'all a couple of blends that I've been really heavy into here lately. This is one of them. This is absolutely good. And he was saying maybe a little rum in this. I didn't know it, but maybe so. It's an awesome blend. I didn't know they made this in this vanilla cream and a flake. I've been buying the loose cut. Now, like I told him in a comment, where I've been, I don't know, but they do in fact. Mac Barrett said, I want to try that. I like a flake once in a while. This is a good little aromatic. Of course, the HH Old Dark Fire. This is one that Guy Witherspoon turned me on to. Y'all got to try that. This Rat Raised Red, very good one. And of course, the latest of the English blends is. Oops, I always show the wrong one. They're so close in color. Is Through a Steak Meat Pie. This one this is a must try for y'all. It's a good one. And another one that is creeping up so fast on one of my favorites, and I've been smoking it a while. It's just gotten better. It's just one that I really like. is McBaron Mixture Scottish blend. This is the one that's got 35 different tobacco leaves in it. Y'all, this one is creeping up fast on my list. A lot of y'all know how much I like HHO Dogfire. It was my number 2 and almost was my number 1 for 2014. This one is giving it a run for its money. I'm on my second tin of this. The first one was compliments of John and them when we were doing the reviews. I just purchased this tin. Great mint. Let me tell y'all, this one's probably, it'll make my top 10 unless something knocks it out. And it'll make my mid-year top 5 more than likely. It's an awesome one. But, like I say, I had a olive stick this morning, cigar today. Well, not this morning. 3 o'clock, I fired up a new stick. I've been smoking a stick about every 2 days. I'll fire one up, and then I'll smoke about half of it and kind of go to a pipe. The next day, I'll pick it up and finish it. So, and it's also a good one to do in the morning with coffee, a nice, robust cigar stick. Someone seen this guitar in the corner of my room here the other day and asked me, did I play the guitar? And no, I do not. No, I don't. But there's a story behind this guitar. When I was a little boy, about 7, 8, 9 years old, I thought I always wanted a guitar. Bad wanted one. My mother's dad, my grandfather, became terminally ill late 73 with lung cancer, and my brother loved it. Of course, I like to fish now. My brother he was even younger. He was 4 years younger than I was, so he'd have been 5 at the time. I was 9 when this all happened, and my grandfather wanted to get us a gift. He was pretty much on his deathbed. He was in the hospital. Back then, they didn't do hospice. You went to the hospital and pretty much stayed there. And Papa wasn't but 56 years old. We called him Papa. And in the South, that's a word for grandfather and grandpa. And a lot of you'll hear that word a lot in the South. But he was only 56 when he died. And he brought my brother a rod and reel, a little Zebco 33. This guitar was not an expensive brand, but my mom took him up to the hospital to see him, and he said, look under that bed and bring it in and hand me that box. I want you to open it up for me. I opened it up, and there was this guitar. I played it a little when I was a child. My son has learned to play it. He can play it well. I'm going to gift it to him once he gets in his own house. But the story behind it, and I hope this camera will show y'all. And I know you're not going to be able to see it in this camera, but do you see the writing? Barely see it on the tag inside. Down on the very bottom, it's very scratchy. His initials, MJT. He took a marker. My mom gave him a marker, and he was shaking very bad. He was about 6'1", and his prime weighed about 160. He was at about 90 pounds, and he put his initials in here. My mom put the date. It was November 6, 1974, and he died November 21st, 1974, 15 days later. And I wouldn't take nothing for this, like I say, especially with his initials inside of it and the date. And like I say, I'll gift this to my son when he gets a place of his own. So he has actually played it. He picked up on it very well. I didn't. But that's the story behind the little guitar. Some people, a couple people asked me, did I play? They seen it in the corner, and that's the story. It's just a keepsake, something that I cherish. But anyhow, I'm going to finish this bowl of early morning pancake. Working on some menu situations at the restaurant. We're revamping some things. It's going to take me a while on that. But I'm going to finish watching some videos too. I see several older presenters have put some out, so I'm going to watch some of those. Y'all take care. Have a good one, and God bless you.